Hello, everybody. Good morning, everyone. I am Cuauhtemoc Mendez, astronomy teacher at Tec de Monterrey campus Guadalajara High School. And I am glad to tell you today about what we have been investigating and practicing about the engagement of the students in the astronomy course. Well, this image is from an astronomical night conducted by our students in which they themselves explain to their family and friends about what they have seen in the course and what they observe in the telescopes. This is a very popular event among the students of each new generation. Later on, we will talk about the direct relationship that this has precisely with our topic, engagement. I begin by distinguishing engagement from motivation, two concepts that are often confused. For this, an analogy is often used with respect to reading. Motivation would be the interest the student has in reading and the self-perception of his or her reading ability. Engagement would be the number of words the student reads per minute. During the pandemic, while we were looking for literature to help us improve our astronomy course, we came across a very interesting study by Dr. Chris Impey and collaborators. In this study, they conceptualized astronomy course engagement as the fact that performance exceeds 70% of the assigned activities. We at Tec de Monterrey start from this concept to measure engagement with the percentage with which students exceed the passing grade, which is, by the way, 70%. We observe this both in the number of activities performed as well as in the partial and final grades obtained by each student. As an example, we can mention that if a student gets, let's say, 70 points on his or her exam, this means he got 5 out of 30 possible points for engagement, meaning reaching more than 60% of it. Example number 2, if a student gets 87 points in his or her exam or the final grade, this means he got 17 out of 30 points from engagement, meaning more than 56% of it. Example number 3, yes, I'm a teacher. And if she or he gets 95 points of his or her exam, this means she got 25 out of 30 points from engagement, meaning she reached more than 83% of it. Having a concrete measurement for this aspect allows us to evaluate different strategies and activities and to select those that are most relevant to achieve engagement, actually. Among the activities suggested by the literature consulted, the ones that have given us the best results are the following. Lecture tutorials, and here Dr. Slater's team at CAPER has done a wonderful job designing questions and activities that get students to use the concepts seen in class to understand them in a more concrete way. If we just lecture, we would be doing boring sessions and most of the information would be forgotten just in a few days. Further readings, and in this aspect, Sky and Telescope magazine has been doing a very assertive job in sharing versions for students. Having new and attractive content really stimulates reading and thus the curiosity of students. When the teacher is a rock star, this is very important to become engaged, but unfortunately, this is quite complicated here in Mexico. However, we have had the kind presence of personalities who have agreed to join us virtually in some sessions, such as Dr. Chris Packham from University of Texas in San Antonio, Lucinda Offer from the Royal Astronomical Society, Dr. Katie Berryhill, and Dr. Gonzalo Tancredi, among others. It is very important to know that to have engaged students, you really need to have engaged teachers. Of course, stargazing experiences with telescopes. In our course, this marks a turning point in the attitude of students in the course. Most of them are using this kind of equipment for the first time in their lives. And of course, we invite them to use them themselves. This is very, very interesting for them. Family and friends, very important also. The literature mentions that the option that the opinion of the circles close to the students is very important. So we encourage them to invite them to stargazing experiences in which they, the students themselves, explain to their guests what they have seen in the course and thus make them more interesting what they are observing through these telescopes. And undoubtedly, the most important thing is to get the students to do the explaining. This really gives them an active role, not only in the astronomy course, but also in their own education. I have to mention the most important recognition we have received so far in the astronomy course is when the students tell us that in the evenings, at dinner time, the topic of conversation with their families is usually what they are learning in the astronomy classes. Thank you very much for your time, and as we say in astronomy, clear skies.